Hey friend, welcome to the Inventory Genius podcast, where we work together here to make you an inventory genius. We talk about profit, we talk about cash flow, and we definitely talk about your paycheck. Because at the end of the day, it's all related to your inventory. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to the Boutique Workshop podcast. I am your host, Sierra, and today I have a really amazing guest. We're going to be talking about some things that we've never talked about on the show before, but I think they're going to help give you some new tools in your toolbox to grow your business, especially as we're looking at the new year and we're putting together growth plans, strategies, budgets, all of that exciting stuff. And so I want to welcome our guest today, Jen. Is that correct? Did I pronounce that?
Yeah,
Gen.
Gen
Okay, I should have
Furukawa.
asked you before. Yeah, I
That's
should
all
have asked
right.
you before. But Gen is here and we are so excited to visit with him. So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks so much for having me.
So tell us about yourself. How did you get into this crazy industry, retail, products, inventory, all of that, and what you do every day? What do you do for work?
Yeah, for sure. So, my name is Gen Furukawa. I'm you're a parent. I'm a dad of two, based in Austin, Texas, and it's actually not so much in retail per se, but more just e-commerce SaaS sales. E-commerce enablement is sometimes what it's referred to.
A good way to describe it. Okay.
Yeah, software tools to help e-commerce sellers. So it started in 2015. I was part of the founding team of Jungle Scout. And so Jungle Scout's a leading Amazon tool to help people identify where there's potential demand. And so your audience might be familiar with it, looking to see maybe if they're building their own product or private labeling something. So I was leading the marketing team. My two co-founders of Prehook, which is a quiz platform that I'm currently working on as a co-founder. We were all part of the team. They're developers. I'm doing marketing and everything else. And in 2020, we decided that we did want to work together, do something, build something of our own in the e-commerce space, but slightly away from where we were very familiar with, which was Amazon, and focus on Shopify.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Your audience might be both on Amazon and Shopify. They're both under the umbrella of e-commerce, but they do have different tendencies and different traits. So whereas an Amazon listing is very focused on SEO, and you know what your customer is looking for, you know how you can optimize based on the images or the language, the copy that you're using. But a Shopify seller has something slightly different, and that's maybe, what the retailer or boutique owner might deal with. Somebody who walks into the store, you don't know what they're walking in for. But if you are the retailer, you can ask a few questions, learn about them, maybe what it is that they're looking for, what their goals are, what their challenges are, what their habits are. So once you learn these things, you can dramatically change how you're positioning your product or what product you recommend, why you're recommending it. And then you can really craft a personalized pitch. And so that's what we focus on with Prehook, is basically allowing merchants to ask a few questions, capture a lead, whether that's a phone number or email address, and then recommend a product. And then a lot of the magic happens on the back end, whether it's Klaviyo or OmniSend, Attentive or PostScript, email or SMS tools to kind of like craft a welcome flow or a post quiz flow or automation to really introduce the brand, the product, what you do, and then why they should purchase, whatever it is that they were looking for.
That's so interesting. So I have learned, I've listened to a lot of podcasts where they talk about quizzes, not really from the Shopify standpoint. I've never thought about them from selling a product. It's more, if you're a coach or you're selling a consulting service, you do a quiz on the front end to learn about your customer, gather their information. So interesting that we could do this as we're selling products. So give me an example of a really great way to use a quiz. Let's say I have an e-commerce store and I sell home decor. How could I use a quiz to build my business, to scale and grow?
Yeah, so we do have a few home decor brands. One is called Vibe Interior, VYBE Interior, I believe, .com. And so they're doing prints. And so their quiz is very particular to, because if you think of a quiz, and I've gone to Society 6, for example, and buy stuff, but there are a couple of different variables that you're trying to solve for. as a merchant, right? So the person could be basing their purchase decision based on the size. So maybe
Sure.
you're asking like, what size are you looking for? Maybe it's what style preferences matter to you. Maybe it's what price range matters. Maybe it's if somebody doesn't know, because sometimes shoppers don't know what they don't know, or they just want something simple. And so I think that's where a quiz can be really great in terms of presenting easy questions that from there, you, the merchant that's an expert in the space, can use as a proxy for say, oh, okay, I like colorful. Well, here's some ideas of colorful things, or I like somber and stoic colors. So you can kind of mix and match based on that. And so the way that a tool works, where you can kind of do this on a dynamic basis at scale, is that you're linking each product based on what the quiz response is.
Okay, so I've always wondered that from the back end. I thought, okay, the technology behind it is it, if they answer like this, it then gives them these options. And then if they answer that, it puts them over into this category of options. So you direct on the backside as a technology builder, where you want that customer, and then you want them to end up at a product making a sale.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's basically a point system. So you can change the points. But if I am shopping for a living room, I like bold colors and I want a big print. So for each of those, I would be recommending or linking the products that would fit the criteria of. Okay. So it's a little bit confusing maybe without the visual builder, but it's essentially for this product that makes sense based on this quiz response, I'll give 1 point, and then you're just tallying it up. And at the end, the products that have the most points are what's recommended.
So have you found when your customers or e-commerce stores that you work with use quizzes, is the conversion rate a lot higher into sales versus someone just like trying to figure out where to maneuver on your sales page by themselves? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so we have seen that, and we've heard from customers that the conversion rate, whether you're verifying from Google Analytics, for example, of those who take the quiz and those who don't, or via email, if you're tracking email per or revenue per recipient, is multiples higher for those that take the quiz. And if you put your conversion rate optimization hat on, you think about what your job is to get somebody from visiting your site to learn more about your product to then say, hey, this is exactly what I need, I'm going to purchase it. The main goal of somebody who's focusing on conversion rate optimization is to simplify the buying process, directly address any potential objections, questions, concerns that they have, and then basically create a smooth process from add to cart all the way through to checkout. And so you can very clearly understand what these questions are or what these concerns are with the quiz questions that you're asking. So for example, Helix Sleep is a mattress brand. Mattresses are kind of like these expensive, you buy them once a decade type products. So you generally, customers will want to do a fair amount of research. And also in some ways, a mattress is a little bit of a commodity that whether you get a Casper mattress or a Tufted Needle mattress, like who really knows? So a lot of it comes down to the merchandising of it, especially for direct to consumer, where you're not able to lie on the mattress and feel what feels better. So that's where Helix has a really great quiz where they're getting some of the basic information. How many people are going to be sleeping on it? How much do these people weigh? All the way to more preference-based. What type of feel do they want? More to after that, like the pains, the challenges, like do you have neck pain, back pain, joint pain, whatever. And so with that, after the quiz, then Helix takes the customers to an optimized and personalized product description page. So based on what you're looking for, these, two people in a California king size bed who have these problems, here's a best mattress for you, and here's why. So yeah, that's kind of a roundabout way to answering your question of how a brand can use the data that they're gathering in the quiz to immediately be more effective in terms of product marketing.
Yeah, this is so good because I think, with brick and mortar, people walk in and we have the great option and, opportunity to connect with them, to ask them these questions. As think about the mattress store. Someone walks in, tell me what you're looking for. Do you like firm? Try this. And we can't do that in e-commerce without, that person standing there. And so the quiz gives that opportunity to get that person engaged and really to point and direct, because people want things simple. They want to really be told, like, just tell me what to buy, tell me where to look. And so instead of having people jump onto our page, get lost, overwhelmed, and leave, we keep them connected, and then we give them options. And they're much more likely, I would think, to say, oh, they recommended this just for me. That's wonderful. I'll make the purchase. So I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what you're describing is really like the post-quiz experience are still on the website. But a lot of the value, and in particular, I don't know when this will be published, but leading up to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that's when a lot of consumers' inboxes are going to be flooded with messages and, here's an offer for Black Friday, here's an offer for Cyber Monday, surprise, we extended our sale. But a lot of these, the way that you can cut through the clutter is to gather information from your customers, understand what they're looking for, and then send them tailored, relevant messaging. And so good. You don't need to necessarily even capture this all on the front end. Like, you can even enrich your existing customer profiles by sending an email to your existing list. Hey, take this quiz to, whatever it is, whatever hook makes most sense for you. But fill out the quiz and we'll send you more information about it. And so customers are not, they're not shy about sharing their personal data if, on the flip side, they understand that there's going to be a better shopping experience, better customer experience, more personalization. I think Accenture had this study from a few years ago. Basically, like 70% of consumers are willing to share their personal data if they understand that they'll get a personalized shopping experience in exchange. And I think 9 out of 10, also from an Accenture study, are more likely to buy from brands that will personalize and become repeat customers. So you're seeing higher average order value and higher conversion rate from those brands that are able to nail the personalization aspect.
That's so good, which is what I want to talk to you about personalization to scale. But before we jump over there, one more question about the quiz side of things, because I think this could be so beneficial. Can small e-commerce businesses use this product? Like,
absolutely.
How would they? Okay, so tell us. I'm just starting out. I have a handbag and shoe store. It's not very big. I don't have a lot of inventory, but I want to grow my business. How could I use the quiz product to help with my little business?
Yeah, I mean, even if you're just starting up, or if you're Stitch Fix, a multi-billion-dollar public company, Stitch Fix has a quiz, as their onboarding step for every customer. But the main values of any brand who takes advantage of a quiz is accelerated list growth. So that's basically building your email and or SMS list. That's improving the conversion rate. So that means after they take a short quiz, you are recommending the product, simplifying the buying process like we were discussing. And so there you'll see a lift in conversion, most likely from those that take the quiz and those that don't. And then actually maybe most importantly is the zero-party data. So zero-party data is data that customers proactively and willingly share with you, as opposed to first-party data. So first-party data is passively tracked. That might be things like website pages visited, or product pages visited, or actions on the site, like abandoned cart or add to cart, checkout, or transaction history, how much they've purchased, what they've purchased, maybe from their geography. But the challenge with first party data is that you're having a lot of implicit assumptions. So you're assuming, because Sarah has bought this product, then she has this need, but you don't know that because you haven't explicitly said so. And so that's the value of zero party data. And so whether you are an enterprise brand or an SMB boutique shop, these are critical pillars to your marketing, which is, building your list, making a buying experience pleasant and helpful, and then learning more about your customers so that you can send more personalized emails and SMS, which, people say to the tune of 30% or more of all online revenue should come from email and or SMS.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned Klaviyo PostScript, which a lot of the listeners use, those two products. And there's others that integrate so nicely with Shopify too, but those are what we use a lot. We talk a lot about here. So how can we use, now kind of segueing into personalization, how can we use, let's say, Klaviyo, PostScript, some of those SMS or email marketing tools, and personalize the experience for the person who we've collected the data from, so that they, again, feel like that customer. They walk in our store and I say, hey, Susan, I'm so excited you're here. We can't do that because it's e-commerce, but how could we do that to, make them feel comfortable and like they are one person that we're paying attention to and care about in our e-commerce store?
Yeah. So now we might get in the weeds a little bit with email, but there are multiple ways that Klaviyo and Omnisend are really robust tools. So you could just do it, skim the surface of personalization, like, hey, Sierra, like, first name in brackets. So that's, you build it out. And whether it's Sierra or Gen or Susan, whoever it is, you're getting the first name. And that's kind of like very surface level. Then you can go around like what the product is. So you can dynamically insert the product. So after you've taken a quiz, you are recommended, say, a moisturizer for normal skin. And I take a quiz and I'm recommended a moisturizer for dry skin. That recommendation for me is going to be a product for dry skin. For you, it'll be for normal skin. But when you're building your Klaviyo email, you're just including a placeholder. So whatever that recommended product is, you will get one that very different from me. You can also insert different custom properties. Custom properties are basically the profile, like you're in Tennessee, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So, whether it's, hey, the weather in Tennessee looks like it's getting cooler now, get this to stay hydrated, whatever it is. So whether it's like the geography or your personal preferences or your habits, or you can dynamically insert the data, which comes through as a text phrase or number or whatever it is, in the email. So that's another way that you can personalize, kind of like in an email or SMS. And then you can also create segments. So that's where it gets really helpful, where you can build dynamic segments based on some of the data that's captured in the quiz. So if you want to, say, send more educational content about my particular skin type or your particular skin type, you can use a conditional split in Klaviyo. So that's basically if-then logic. So if Sierra says she has this type of skin, send her this email that's specific to that type of skin. Or if she says she likes this type of clothing. And so, you can basically go on to infinity in terms of how you're going to be segmenting your list, and then how you're going to be splitting their messaging in your Klaviyo flow.
Which would definitely help with open rates and click-through rates, conversion rates. Yeah. But it all comes from understanding who your customer is, how they think, what they want, through that zero-party data, because they've given you the answers. You've asked them questions, they've told you, and now you use that to personalize and then scale because that conversion rate. I love seeing this. Now, a lot of, those of you that are listening are like, oh my goodness, one more thing to do. How am I gonna? So tell us how we can do this easily. Do we hire someone like you? Is it a great app that we install? Like, how, if someone's like, I want to do the quiz idea, but this is super overwhelming, break it down for us, make it simple.
Yeah, sure. Well, I do them a lot and happy to help. So feel free to email me, Gen, Gen, at prehook.com. Happy to share some ideas or, take a pass at building it out. Our product is called Prehook. You can find it on the Shopify store for Prehook quiz builder. But yeah, I think the suggestion at a high level is just to start simple. And so you can definitely get very granular and like have different conditional logic that makes it a little bit more granular in terms of targeting or messaging. But I think at a high level, you can start with a few basics about the person, maybe even just the first name. Then what brings you here today? As in, like, what are you looking for? what challenges are you dealing with? And then depending on the type of store, maybe you're getting into preferences for style, or if it is a home decor, maybe it's the room that you're shopping for. But yeah, I think at the very least, just getting a few data points would be really helpful for you to recommend the product. And then once you understand what they're looking for, then you can create campaigns or segments based on those explicitly stated needs. And it is, especially, in light of moving towards Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holiday season, maybe you're asking, are you buying for yourself or a gift? I'm so sorry. Turn notifications off. I'm so sorry about that.
No worries.
So yeah, I think starting easy with a few questions.
Really simple. Yeah. So I was even thinking, one of my customers came to mind. She sells apparel, women's apparel, and her store is very unique. Everything's colorful, a lot of pattern design. But a great quiz for her might be something like, do you like to wear dresses, or do you like to wear pants? And do you like, bold colors or more muted colors? Just a couple of questions that would then direct their customer or point them in the right direction, because it could get overwhelming with all the beautiful things she has, but can just point them in the right direction. And now she has this data where she can connect with customers, send those personalized emails. Hey, Susan, I know you love bold colors. Just wanted to let you know this new color collection dropped. And she knows that that person is going to open that. So I love that. Just start super simple, 1 or 2, 3, 4 points of data, start collecting that, getting familiar with the product, reach out to you if they're like, I just don't want to even touch this, or I want a little bit of help. So good. Tell us in closing, maybe one of the biggest success stories that you've seen where someone was really struggling to grow or to get momentum with their e-commerce platform, and they started to implement the use of quizzes, and it really changed their growth trajectory.
Yeah. So one brand is called Teelixir, Teelixir, and they are an adaptogen brand. So adaptogens are, it's an ancient holistic medicine, basically using mushrooms and plants for medicinal purposes. So even though it's been around for a very long time, the modern consumer was unfamiliar with it, unfamiliar with the practice of it, then also which product was right based on which of their health conditions they were experiencing. So there's a problem in terms of helping a customer navigate to the right product, but then the product education itself. So this is a Prehook customer, and so I worked with them to help build out their quiz, and they tested it first. They did a variety of tests. And then once they did identify and validate in Google Analytics that the people who took the quiz had, I think, a 2x email opt-in rate. So those that took the quiz opted in at 2x the rate that those that did not take the quiz.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then perhaps even more importantly is that it was a 5x increase in email in revenue per email, meaning that for every email they sent to somebody who took the quiz, they were able to see a 5x increase in revenue to that email recipient, as opposed to somebody who did not. And so once they did validate that, and hey, this is great for our top of funnel marketing, then they really went full throttle with it. They added it as a fixed header nav at the top of their homepage. They added to their navigation at the top of their homepage. The hero image is an exit intent pop-up. So if somebody's leaving, like, hey, having trouble finding what you're looking for, take the quiz to learn more.
So good.
And yeah, so they've really done a number in terms of revenue and leads. And so those are often two of the most important KPIs for e-commerce brands. And the quizzes really helped ramp that up.
So good. So it helped educate their customer. It helped point their customer in the right direction. And then once they started to see those results, they were able to integrate it even more into their site and like really use it and optimize. Yeah. And then I'm sure the flow through the email and everything. So good. Okay. So we can find it in the App Store for Shopify.
The Shopify App Store. Yep.
The Shopify App Store. Okay.
Or just Prehook.com.
Prehook.com. Okay. So super easy. And I'm going to put all of this in the show notes as well. You're an entrepreneur. And everyone listening is an entrepreneur. So I love to always end with this. And I didn't give you, any hint as to this question, but give us a piece of advice, something that maybe a mentor told you or someone that, you really look up to. And that word of advice has helped you so much in your entrepreneurial journey. Share that with us in closing today.
Yeah, I think maybe what I've been thinking about most recently is focusing on what's within your locus of control. So that is like, I can't control how many stores will install Prehook or use it, or how much revenue it'll drive. But what I can control is maybe the content that I'm putting out, or the merchants that I'm reaching out to, building more features, speaking with more merchants to understand. But these are the things that I can control. The outcome will take care of itself, hopefully for the better or not. But if I can execute on doing the things that I've planned will take me there, then it's on me to just do those things and let the rest take care of itself. Not stress about it.
Yeah. So controlling what we can control and taking action on what's in front of us, because we can't control the decisions people make, or like you said, all of those things that are out there. But we can control what's right in front of us and taking action today. So good. So the action that I want you all to do is to at least head over to the website and take a look at Prehook and just see if it might be a good fit. Learn a little bit about it, start to get curious about how you could integrate this. I'm already thinking of all of you. I know so many of your businesses, and how you could use it. I love this idea of getting to know our customers better. So thanks for joining us and sharing this today. It was something I did not know about. So it was really exciting to be able to bring this to the listeners.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sierra.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, we're going to get all of the links. We'll drop them here in the show notes. Thanks for tuning in today, everyone. I appreciate your time. If you haven't heard about the Profitory Mastermind yet, it is launching October 1st. We have 30 spots. So you're going to want to head over to theboutiqueworkshop.com, check out Profitory Mastermind, reach out to me if you have questions. Otherwise, bye for now. See you later. Hey friend, thank you so much for tuning in today to the Inventory Genius podcast. If there's something that you heard today on the podcast episode and you want to dig deeper into becoming an inventory genius yourself, I want to invite you to head on over to my website, sierrastocklin.com, where I have multiple ways that you and I can work together on your inventory. I want to help you with your profit, your cash flow, and your paycheck, because at the end of the day, it's all related to your inventory. So head on over to the website, connect with me. I'll work with you soon. See you then. Hey friend, you know how we're always talking about the importance of having a good set of financials for your business? Well, it's pretty difficult to have a good set of financials if you don't have a trustworthy bookkeeper or an accountant. And that's why I want to introduce you to Summer. Summer's the founder and CEO of LeafBook. LeafBook is dedicated to helping business owners just like you run a profitable business, and that is music to my ears. They're going to help you put together a customized blueprint that will allow you, as the owner, to objectively evaluate your expenses, to pay yourself regularly, can I hear an amen, to crush debt, and to become permanently profitable. And that's permanently profitable in all caps. Their certified Profit First professionals are going to be with you every single step of the way, supporting you and cheering you on. And that's exactly what you need. So I want you to head on over to www.leafbookcfo.com. That's leafbookcfo.com. Reach out to Summer and her team. See if they can't be the accountant or the bookkeeper